Hey, Teacher Candy here. First of all, if you like my videos or are interested in learning more about teaching ESL, please subscribe. If you like this video, please like it. If you hate it, please thumbs down it, because guess what? That still gets me in the mix more with YouTube. But anyways, I survived 5 classes in a row with VIP. And it was Christmas Day. And actually, I taught 6 classes. And basically what happened was I had opened up a bunch of slots for Christmas Day. And I woke up and had 6 classes. And so it was 1 class and then a 30-minute break and then 5 classes together. And the first thing I did was took out the for the one that was in between the 30-minute break. I went ahead and made myself unavailable for that so that I knew that I wasn't teaching 7 classes in a row because I was really, really nervous. And it's really good, though. I think it was a really good way to get my feet wet. It was, in many ways, a positive experience. There were some negatives, but all in all, it was a positive experience. And this is how I survived it. First off, I went and I studied each lesson that I was teaching, because each lesson that I was teaching was an MC. It was a regular lesson. There were no trial lessons. So it wasn't material that I'd seen before, and I wanted to really know it. And anybody that works for VIP, highly, highly, highly recommend that you, when you get classes, especially if they're not a trial class, because with trial classes, there's only, I think 5 different classes that you can teach. So you can know them pretty well. And most of them are high, hello, at different levels. And they aren't anything difficult. So, as long as you've got your puppets, something to entertain, you got, little things like this, some smiley faces that are happy and sad, some basics, you're going to do okay in the trial classes. But with the level classes, especially when you get up into level 3 and 4, oh my gosh, it can get a little bit, First of all, the timing. You have about 20, I had about 27 PowerPoint pages to go through. So I'm meeting a brand new student. I have to build up rapport, get to know the student. It's usually a little bit older student, a student that has a better English level. Therefore, you're expected to talk a little bit more and ask questions. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing is the content. The content for these lessons is deep. You have a lot of reading. A lot of times you have some math. You have, and sometimes you'll have like a lesson that's part of the lesson will be sight words or phonics. And in the phonics, it's very interesting. I love phonics, and I think that it's very, very important to teach kids how to sound out words. So personally, I think that is an important part of the program. I was checking my lighting because I'm starting to see shadows. So good thing I'm not teaching it this time. I need to get special lights. But anyways, so you're teaching phonics, you're teaching a lot of different things, and you never know. Every student is different. I had one student we got done in 23 minutes, and I was like, I was like, I cannot believe that we blew through this. But this kid knew. He was drawing lines. He was saying the words. He was reading like Speedy Gonzales. And he, and that is one thing. Read your student profiles, because your student profiles will tell you this student, most of my students have had around 100 lessons. So these are not students who are brand new and you're still teaching them circle or draw a line or do this or do that. I did some things a little bit different because I could see than their usual teachers. And so that was interesting response. And another thing that happened on my very first class was I was so excited and I was just expecting that PowerPoint presentation to just pop up, and it didn't. And I was like, so the student came in and I turned on and the PowerPoint's still not there, and she's like, teacher, I can't see the PowerPoint. And I'm like, because I'd had 2 classes before that, everything had worked. And the first 2 classes I had absolutely no problems. Everything worked and ran perfectly. The PowerPoints I had, it was in the VIP app, and I could do the little AR stickers, and everything was perfect and wonderful. And so for this first one in the morning, I got thrown a curveball, and we lost 6 minutes. But because I had a half hour between, I made up that 6 minutes and gave her a little bit of time over at the end. And I wrote and said, I'm sorry about the PowerPoint, but I did give your daughter time at the end, and blah, blah, blah. So, but the little girl was wonderful. She was absolutely a dream to teach. And most of the kids are really motivated, really highly motivated, very smart, really into learning. They know the VIP system because, like I said, all of my kids had like 100 classes. So it was that way. It was easy. The problem, and I will say, thank you, firemen. You came right away, because I had tried to refresh. I tried to do this. I had tried to do that. Part of this thing is, I guess, some kids are on an older system, and so they can't have the newer downloaded slides, and so I had to go into a different room. And that happened to me for 3 classes in a row. The first class and then the next 2 classes, which were on top of each other. But the next 2 classes, even though I only had 2 minutes in between class, I was able to get it fixed. So that problem was resolved. Another thing that I did in prep was, because I did know the lessons ahead of time. I knew, so I didn't have a slide come up and go, what am I supposed to do? Which, I actually, when I was doing the prep, I was like, what am I supposed to do? But one of the other things I did, and this gave me a lot of peace, was you'll have a choice when the lesson comes up. They'll say, do you want to watch this video of a 5 apple lesson? And so I watched. And I was like, okay, they just breezed through that. They didn't make the students say every single word in that. They read that. They didn't, because you could tell the time was, and I was like, they didn't have 101 props. They didn't have a lot of 3D props. A lot of them, there was one guy, all he had was these, and it was like, And it really made me realize that your mock trial, that, that high level, and of course you want to give the best, and of course you want to give that same as much as you can to your kids. But something I learned is, especially as a new teacher, if you don't have 101 props, if you don't have, I only have one whiteboard, so I had to erase it, and actually I need to clean it now, but you don't have to, it doesn't have to be that high, everything's perfect. You don't have to have everything, especially when you're doing 5 classes in a row. Now, I did have prep. I had prep for my classes. For example, for one lesson, it was, I had to teach the queen, and I had made myself just a little paper crown, a little yellow piece of paper cut into the shape of a crown and taped to my forehead, and that got a laugh. So I did have prep, but it was not the prep for every single class. I did not have, like I said, I did not have tons and tons of And because my kids were older, I remember I had one girl, I said, how old are you? And she said she was 14. And I can remember I planned on doing something really, really kiddie. And because her class was actually a little bit lower level. And I was like, okay, throw that out. So that's another thing. You have to be ready to adjust to your students. And I really think the rapport time at the beginning is really important. Finding out how old they are so you're not giving, because sometimes they can even look younger. Building the rapport, making the lessons personalized, asking questions if you can. Think about on the slides what to do, what to make funny. Like I said, I did the crown thing for the queen, and talked in a funny voice, and just different things like that. Things to make them laugh. I had one kid, he was spinning around in his chair because he was at, I think, a dry cleaner's. And so I tried to spin, and I couldn't spin because I don't have enough space here. And I said, let me try and spin. And finally I was able to spin, and we laughed, And that was the kid that was done in 23 minutes. So, like I said, I was like really, really rushing and trying to get something going for him, And so you can just do different things. And every lesson is different, and you have to be prepared not to just keep bulldozing along with, the standards. If you've got a kid that's reading slower, you have to adjust to figure out, okay, I was planning on him reading all these slides. Now maybe let me read let's do me read, you read, or something like that. You have to adjust to get through the 27, 28 slides, whatever it is, but you also have to adjust to the kid. And that's the most important thing, is your student. Your student's number one. And so I think that is what I learned in that 5 classes together. Because if you have a class and you don't have a class afterwards, you don't have a class before it, and like for my first 2 classes, I did all this prep because I was so excited and everything. And I could do tons of prep because I had tons of time. But as time goes on in your teaching, and even like me on Christmas Day, there were a couple things I didn't. I did the same. I trimmed a Christmas tree with every single person for my reward system because I was like, it's Christmas, and I wore a red shirt and everything, and said Merry Christmas and ho 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 and stuff like that. And so we did some things that way that, I didn't go along with the reward system that was in the slides. And I think that I like the idea of the reward systems in the slides, though, because they are different. And so you've got a kid that's had 120 classes. They've probably seen the monkey with a banana. They probably, found a star 101 times. They've probably, at least 50 times the find a star. So you do have to, it's much more of a challenge than, say, a newer student that hasn't had a lot of classes yet. And so you really have to work with that. You have to really pay attention to what they like and be flexible and go with that at that moment. There's a fabulous video with VIP Kid, and it's in the VIP Kid YouTube. If I can find it, I'll link it. But it's, what if your kids interviewed you? And it really does show, you have to adjust to the kids, and it's an adorable, adorable video. And I think that it really shows the VIP philosophy, and it shows, it gives you ideas, and it really wakes your eyes up to, you got to get the kid involved. You've got to grab their attention. You've got to engage them and pay attention, see what they like, and then you can adjust it. Like, I had a little girl, she wasn't in this group of 5 lessons in a row, but I had a little girl, she was my second class, and I said, let's get ready to sing, and she brought up a microphone, and I don't have a microphone, and I said, wow, what a pretty microphone. I don't have a microphone. And so I said, can this be my microphone? And I picked up a pen and I pretended to, and she put down her pretty little microphone that she had, this cute little pink one, and she got a pen and she sang with me with her pen. So, you just have to recognize, and I wasn't planning on using any kind of microphone, even though I've seen teachers with their microphones and examples and stuff. I don't have one, and so I just was going to just sing and do hand movements, but I had to adjust. And so I think that that's really important, is you adjust to your kids and learn your kids. And I think that that's what makes, and it makes it fun. That's another thing. Make it fun for you, and it'll be fun for your child that you're teaching. And I love the one-on-one. I love one-on-one. I teach for another company, and it's a real challenge when you've got 6 kids in 25 minutes to try and give each one attention and time to speak. And, one kid is slow and another kid's not paying attention. So, the one that's paying attention is giving answers like this and, really ready and paying attention. And then you've got these other 2 that are dragging and slowing the class down. And, you just want to go, come on, pay attention. But it's, a different world in those classrooms. And, I have classes even with that, I have I think 3 is okay. But in classes like 5, 6 kids, it's a challenge to give each one the time. And that is the beautiful thing about VIP too, is that the lessons are so well planned. And yeah, maybe I would like it to be 24 slides. 22 slides instead of 27, 28 slides. But at the same time, it keeps changing. So the kids really don't have the time to get bored, because by the time something is like, oh, you're moving on to something else, and not, what's this now? What am I going to, oh, yeah, okay. And my kids all knew what to do. But it's a really fabulous experience. Technical difficulties. Let me talk a little bit about technical difficulties. I did have to have the firemen help me. I had one child that had very bad internet connection. He probably might even have to take the class again, because even though we finished the class and he pretty much got all the class, he was a little bit in and out. And so that's one thing. China, a lot of kids, depending on where they are, don't have good internet connection, and that does affect your classroom. And I was worried, because in my other company, I've experienced where the students actually were having bad internet problems. Or, for example, if they have you just on a computer and I'm teaching the class and they don't have headphones and connected, what will happen is you will hear echoes. And the echo, you'll hear it in the whole classroom. Every student will hear it. So you're constantly having to turn them, mute them, and then turn them on to talk and mute them again. And it really is a weird balance. And you can get that. And in my other company, I had several times the Chinese, they call them SA, student assistants, I guess. In VIP, it's called learning partners. But they come in, they watch, and they will say, you don't have good internet, you don't have this, or you don't have that. And I'm like, no, it's not me, it's the student. And in the one example, it was just one student one-on-one. So I never turned off his mic, because turning off his mic, turning on his mic, I knew he was hearing me clear, but it just was affecting the video. And I'm like, I just didn't do it. But anyway, so because she was making such a big deal, I turned off his mic. I wrote a little in the chat box, look, pay attention, and turned off his mic. and started talking, and she could see, no, I didn't have an echo. And I turned on his mic. Yep, echo. It's him. It's not me. But so I was really, really worried that I might have that issue with VIP Kid in these couple classes that I had problems with, that they would say. And so I did a speed test to prove that my speed was really great, and it was fabulous. And because we have really expensive internet, my husband also works. He's a translator, and he works through the internet translating for a company in the U.S. And so he has to have super good internet and have to be. It's very important that everything he has is super clear. Because he's translating for doctors, lawyers, in court, Social Security, insurance, and so everything has to be really perfect for him. And so that's why we originally got the super, super fast, most perfect internet that you can in Columbia. But, I'm benefiting for it with my job. And so I did, but all my classes came back as scheduled and perfect, and no IT problems, no dings for IT problems, which I was really worried about. So I think that's one thing, is to always, contact firemen, let them know what's going on if you're having problems, if students are having problems, and also contact, do a speed test, run it, and show, so that you'll be able to show, hey, my internet's really good. And like, I have a really expensive headset. It's called the Boom, but yeah, it's the Boom W. And it's like the ones that they do use in helicopters and stuff like that. It gives you very, very clear. I'm going to try a 2-ear headset, though, so that I can hear a little bit clearer, because sometimes if people are up by my last lesson and they're talking and everything, sometimes I'm like, with my student, just because I've just got the one ear. And I'm very easily distracted by noises. I've always been like that. So always cover yourself with your internet problems. I haven't had an issue yet with a classroom. When and if I do, I will let you know how it was resolved. But like I said, prep for your classes. Don't be afraid of having back-to-back classes. Going in and out between the classrooms is like instantly. In fact, a little button comes up at the 28-minute mark that says, do you want to go to your next classroom? So you can teach to that 28-minute mark. That button's going to come up, and it takes you automatically to that next classroom. I mean, it was super fast. Don't forget to use the app, though. I don't know if you have it on the old VIP, like if you just do it through your internet server. That I think that covered it. But anyways, have fun and enjoy your classes. Have a great time, and God bless you. Thumbs down if you want, if you think I'm doing a bad job. And please subscribe if you want to hear more about my adventures with VIP and get advice on not just teaching with VIP, but teaching ESL on the internet. It's a lot of fun. It's worth a try if you have ever thought about it. Bye. God bless. Have a blessed day.